All right, and I hope everyone can see the document. Hello and welcome everyone. Today is 1st of September, and this is Metal3 Community meeting. Just a reminder, as usual, that this meeting is recorded, and we'll post the recorded video later on the Metal3 YouTube channel. If you have any items that you want to discuss today, please go ahead and add it to our agenda for today. And also please add your name in the attendance list. If you haven't yet added the topic to discuss to the document, I'm going to share the link here so that you can easily navigate and add your topic. So as usual, we first give a chance to newcomers to introduce themselves. So if there's someone new on the call, you can use the moment and just give us a brief introduction about yourself. And meanwhile, I will just mute my microphone. All right, assuming we don't have anyone new on the call, then let's go to the agenda. So the first item is from Adam Rosman requesting approval actually on APR. Adam, please go ahead.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So this, as the title says, it's an approval request for a PR in the related to the bare metal operator. That PR is not something that would change like the internal workings of the bare metal operator. It's more of a actually 3 different environment variable and a bit of related logic that would help developers and people who are testing the BMO or related like technologies in CI, and it's basically just about to enable and disable the download of the IPA, the ironic Python agent. And also here is a bit of logic about automatically copying an IPA from a local directory. We have seen as in the airship group while we were working on the Nordic CI, we have met a few situations where it is very useful to be able to copy locally built IPA images or tar archives instead of automatically downloading them. And also we have seen situations where it is beneficial to actually do no operation. So don't download and don't copy it, just use a previously downloaded image. And I was thinking that I will like upstream this change, and because it seems like something that could be useful for many people during like development or testing or in a CI. And if anybody who has like an approval rights, it would be greatly appreciated if you could just give an approval. It already has, I believe, the LGTM tag, and it has been reviewed by at least 2 people. Yeah, so that's it. That's all.
Thank you, Adam. Any questions or comments? Okay, I think no, just to add, so this is actually giving some benefits, especially for people who are doing some development on top of Metal3 Dev testing environment. And we actually plan to use it in our CI, which everyone runs on their pull request as mandatory CI to pass. So this is actually going to help us with the network throughput, because we're not going to download, for example, IPA sometimes. So yeah, the main benefit is say like mostly the CI environment and Metal3 Dev. Yep. All right. If no questions, I hope we will have someone pretty soon to give the approval on this PR. Then let's move on. The second one is from Shukun Song, requesting review, I think. Shukun, please go ahead.
Okay, hello, can you hear me?
Hello, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So can I share my screen? I want to show some simple slide and a demo.
Sure, yeah, let me stop sharing then. Just a moment. Yep, can you try now?
Okay, thank you. Okay, so can you see the slide?
Yes, now I can see it.
Okay, so I copied the URL in the note community notes page, so you can click that to see the whole proposal. And in the slide, I will simply introduce the total proposal. So in this proposal, I want to automatically configure the network devices when provisioning and the deprovisioning the bare metal host. So to do that, we are going to we are going to add a new operator, which is network operator, and some new CRDs. And so first is network device CRD, which represent a specific network device. So when if this is a switch, if the device is a switch, then there will be something like a switch CRD, and the device port is a port in a specific device. And also, the bare metal host will have the reference to those ports which it connected with. And there will also be a network configuration CRD, which can be created by the user, and the user can specify the configuration he want the machine to use. And then after that, user can create a machine and specify the configuration which the machine should use. And Capim3 will then find a BMH and copy the configuration into the BMH. And because BMH knows all the ports it connected, the BMH it connected with, so the BMO will then set the configuration here into the device port, so to tell that the port should use that network configuration. And after that, the network operator will detect the change to the device port, and it will start to connect it to the device and start to configure the NAT port. And yes, it will connect to the the operator will do that by some backend. And currently we are focusing on implement the switch related operation. So we have already add the switch port and the switch port configuration CRDs, and we are currently using network runner and Ansible as the backend to control the the physical switch. And for deprovisioning, if the Metal3 machine is going to be deleted, then the Capim3 will first delete all the configuration specified. It copied into the BMH spec, and then BMO will find that all the configuration it was using are deleted. Then the BMO will also delete every configuration in the switch port spec, and finally the network operator will also connect to the switch and use network runner and Ansible to clear all the configuration in that switch. And after that, the BMO will start to deprovisioning the BMH. And so next, I will start to show a demo to show how the network operator works. Okay, can you see the terminal?
Yes.
Okay, so in the environment, we are using one physical switch and 3 bare metal servers. And you can see currently we have already created 2 BMH. Node 0 is ready for provision, and node 2 is already provisioned. And we have also created 6 switch ports. You can see the name here, switch port node 0-0, and also -1, and node 1-0-1, node 2-0-1. So each bare metal server has 2 NIC and 2 NICs, and also all of them are connected with one switch port. And because node 2 is provisioned, so all of the NICs on the node 2 are used. So the switch port node 2, 0 and 1 are all active, and node 0 is ready. So it only has one NIC ready, and the other is idle because it has because that NIC doesn't have not set any configuration yet. And you can see, and if we check the yes, so I have already created 3 switch port configurations in current environment. And the first one, switch port configuration Pixie, is used for provisioning. And the other 2, test 1 and test 2, are only some network configuration used for after the node is provisioned and it start to be control plan or workers. Then it should have some other networks other than Pixie. So this test 1 and test 2 are only example. And because the node 0 is ready, and so it should have a NIC in Pixie configuration. So here is a switch port node 0-0. So you can see here, the configuration is switch port configuration Pixie. So that means the node 0 have one NIC, and it is connected into VLAN 16. and ready for Pixie for provisioning. And the other one is idle. So it has nothing configured. And for node 2, it is provisioned. So that means it already be in the state of working. So so the 2-0 has the configuration test1 and be set into VLAN 25. And the 2-1 is configured into test2 configuration, and that configuration is VLAN 26. We can and also we can set some other configuration in the switch port configuration CRD, but here we only set untagged VLAN. And you can see here switch port. There are 2 other switch port, which is node 1-0 and node 1-1 are all idle, because we haven't created the BMH node 1 here. So first I will create the last BMH. And I think we can watch. So after the BMH is created, the network operator will automatically set the configuration. So the BMH here is created into registry, and we'll get into inspecting. So here you can see the switch port node 1-0 is set into Pixie, and the state is verifying. And the BMH is started to inspect. And the port is being configured into VLAN 16. Okay, the switch port is configured into VLAN 16, and the node is inspecting. So it will last, I think, half of an hour. So I want to wait. I want to wait it complete. I will show you the provisioning you face by using the ready BMH host. So and So in provisioning, the capping tree will I'm sorry, I think something wrong in the current environment. And actually, if the provisioning phase get running with no error, then the BMH will
start provisioning.
Okay, so if then you can see here the node 0 is starting to provisioning, so we can see here the in the spec of node 0, you can see here we added a new field called ports, and sorry. And in this field, it is a list, and as I said, the captain 3 will choose a BMH and write the network configuration into its spec. So here is the place that we put the configuration, and it is a list, and first is a configuration, which is that this port should use this configuration, and the MAC address is the MAC address of this NIC, and the switch port is the target switch port which this NIC connected to, and the provisioning configuration is an optional. If the field exists, then that means the NIC should be used for provisioning, and during provisioning it should use this configuration. And so you can see here we have two configuration, two member here, and the first one is used for provisioning, and after provisioning it will turn into test 1 configuration, and the other NIC will be configured into test 2 configuration after provisioning. So that would be just like the same as BMH node 2. So node 0 is provisioning, and you can see node 0. It's the state is still active and idle. That's because the provisioning, the configuration of the switch port will be changed after the node is provisioned. So it is still provisioning, so the state didn't get changed. And after it get into provisioned state, then the switch port state will be active, and its VLAN will get set into 25 and 26, just like node 2 having 0 and node 2 having 1. So I want to wait it complete. So for deprovisioning, I will use the node 2 to show how the deprovisioning work. So Okay, so the node 2 is getting into deprovisioning state, and we can that you can see. You can see here the node 02 -0 switch port, which was configured into test 1 configuration and just being configured into Pixie, and so it can be connected. It can connect to the Ironic and start to deprovisioning, and that's all. I will finish the share. So so you can see we have already almost completed the proposal itself. First, I think we have had the parallel meeting in Friday, and we discussed the proposal at that meeting. And currently, we from last week, I think we had just stopped that meeting because we think that the proposal itself has been discussed well, and from now we needed to get it reviewed by the whole community. So if someone have interest about this, please review the this proposal, and also because the proposal is you can see maybe it is opened 1 year ago, so we also hope to push forward it as quick as we can. That's all from me.
Great. First off, thanks a lot, Shukun, for the really nice demo. It was quite interesting to see, and then, like, especially for those who are reviewing, I think it's also good to understand how it works in reality. And since we have the recording, I will also make sure to post it on the Slack so that those folks who were not able to attend the meeting today, they have a chance also to take a look at the demo. So any questions or comments on this proposal from anyone? Okay, if not, then I would propose that we move on with the agenda, and then, like, I would ask the same if you are interested and if you have time to help reviewing the proposal. But I see that there are already quite many folks that have had some comments on the proposal, so I hope that soon you will be able to get it, like, address all the comments and get it merged.
Okay, but yes.
All right, so I think you have already actually addressed the comments. We could, like, if no one else have any comments or that needs to be addressed on the proposal, we could maybe also agree on the lazy consensus.
Yes,
that would maybe, like, help to speed up the process. But I want to make sure that it actually reaches, like, everyone, and, like, at least the maintainers of the repo, and everyone have taken a look at the proposal. So I can put a note on the pull request itself, and, like, for the lazy consensus, And then if there are no, for example, comments to be addressed within that time, we could maybe go ahead with merging if okay with everyone, of course. Would that
Okay.
work, Shukan, for you?
Yes, it works for me. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, thanks. All right, if I will put the comment on the pull request after the meeting, if it's okay. So if no questions or comments on this item, let's move on. The next one is Sumit or Ashu requesting reviews, I think, on pull request. I think Sumit just left the meeting. Maybe Ashu, if you're on a call, you could just explain us a little bit. Oh, I think I remember about this pull request. So this is about changing the CRD version to V1, which is deprecated in 1.22 of Kubernetes release. So I think this is the one that is doing that. Yeah. Okay, I don't see even I think Ashu on the call. So I can actually put it on my to-do list for reviewing this PR, because I was also doing for Azure repos the same change, but we had some issues in hardware classification control repo. But I don't have the approval rights in this repo, so I would ask someone else to take a look, and if it looks okay, just give approve on the pull request. Any questions or comments on this PR? Okay. So the next one is PR for closure. Oh yeah, this is about removing the DAG from the owners list. Same story here. We actually we need just LGTM on this. Let me check the owners. So we need someone from the list to give LGTM, so that we just close that PR. So if someone on the call has that rights, please do so. Otherwise, I could also just ping those owners on the Slack if they're not on the call. All right.
Just one short thing comment. I think the previous PR that you showed regarding this custom resource definition, I think the V1 beta one is not deprecated. If I'm not wrong, it's removed.
It's removed. Sorry, it's removed. Yeah, absolutely. That's right. Yeah, sorry, it is removed. Yeah, it is not available at all. That's true. And the last discussion topic is regarding the issue, it seems, from Chai. Chai, if you're on call, please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm on call. So with regards to this one, it's something which I even spoke about before. I had a discussion with Zane and Dimitri, as you can see, with regards to making the hardware driver properties configurable. So I guess it was a bit unclear what I was intending to say. So I think it kind of like got lost in translation or something. But so if Zane is in the call, so what I actually wanted to achieve through this feature is not have the configuration defined in the bare metal host API itself, but probably have a separate file, like how we have the ironic.env to define the configuration for ironic. So have a file similar to that, like for the interface drivers itself. Can I share my screen if it's fine?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Let me stop it. You can go now.
Yeah. Okay, can you guys see my screen now?
Yeah, we can see the browser.
Yeah, okay. So I don't have a demo actually, but probably I can explain it through the code if it's fine. So what I had in mind for this is that you configure the features like I've shown over here in .env file, similar to like how we have for Ironic, and we define the interfaces over here. And in the drivers, you kind of like make it customizable by passing the interface types. And by doing this, we would kind of avoid avoid adding an extra additional driver for the same functionality. So for example, if I want to like have or if I want to like support a bare metal host which has ILO IPXE and no RAID, I could probably define that over here itself. So something similar like ILO IPXE, and I can probably have something like no RAID over here, and the BMO would then support this particular configuration of the interface driver. But if I have to like create an additional driver every time, so I feel it's more like whenever I do a new permutation based on the requirement, that would also add to the number of drivers, additional drivers that we have in the BMC controller. So that's why I thought this would kind of like be better. So I just wanted to get some feedback from Zane and Dimitri, if possible, if this works, or if this doesn't. I just wanted to like know why this wouldn't be a viable solution, so that I can close the issue today.
So what you're proposing appears to be a single environment file that applies to every driver.
Yeah, that's correct.
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because it means if you want to customize the ILO driver, then you can't use any of the other drivers.
Okay.
But it could make sense if there was like one file per driver, like that. I could kind of see that.
Okay. I mean, even that would work, like having one particular configuration file, but the whole intention is to remove the configuration from the code in Go and put it in a separate configuration file like this one, so that it makes it easier to like make changes at the end of the day, irrespective of which driver it is. Because if I have to like make changes in the code every time, I have to like, for example, where did this? Okay. So for me, it's more like this is something which is like hard coded, if you like see at the moment. So if I have to like have a new thing, then it means creating a new file over here called ILO6, for example, and then like adding this interface, new interface type over here. So that's something which I prefer not to do, and keep it in a configuration file itself, because at the end of the day, the driver supports this, having multiple interface types, which is not supported at the moment in the VMO. Was that clear, or
Yeah, I understand where you're
yeah.
coming from. You don't want to have to change the code every time to change nothing like that, which is reasonable, I guess. I mean, if we just thinking, I have to look through the code and see if there's any places where we are actually relying on like programming logic to set any of those. I suspect that there aren't any or many.
So from what I saw, there weren't any at the moment. And so what I basically did right now was I created a new structure as well. So for example, you see over here, I introduced a new structure called hardware driver config, and passed this as an additional parameter to, I think it was like the driver struct, and I mean to the existing Ironic struct, and then you can read it from over there. So it's just an extension at the end of the day, and it wouldn't break anything existing. Because even with the logic over here in the drivers, what I'm basically doing is that in case you want to like have a custom config, then you can introduce that. If not, the existing functionality is retained at the end of the day if you don't define anything in the driver config file.
Yeah, I can certainly see this working if we have one file per driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fine.
So then can I open a PR for this if this is okay with you, Zane?
Yep, you don't need permission to open a PR, but
okay, thank you.
But yeah, yeah, as long as like each driver has its own config, then I think that's fine.
Great. Yeah, that's it from me.
All right, then I'm gonna take screen sharing back. Cool. So if you're going to open up WordPress, maybe you could just link it to the issue.
Okay.
Yep. Thank you. So if no more questions or items to discuss, I think we can just close the meeting for today. Thanks everyone for joining, and talk to you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.